Oda has finally revealed Roger vs. Garp at full power, but while these monsters were clashing at their peak, Luffy's mother and my goat, Monkey Deadbeat Dragon's future wife officially makes her entrance onto the One Piece manga. Then there is Rocks, who has revealed he needs 2 god fruits to defeat Emu. Over 45 years ago, idols roamed the seas. This crew would go to nations and take what they wanted with barely any fight, because the men would just fall for them, even marines. They were none other than Amazon Lily's Kuja pirates, headed by their captain, Empress Gloriosa at the time. She was such a baddie that her own crewmates were fawning over her beauty. However, in this crew, we also find Tritoma, Luffy's mother. Just look at her smile and Luffy's smile side by side. Okay? They are eerily similar, and that's Luffy's mother. But that's not the only evidence I have. Anything related to Dragon, I'm your guy. I know what kind of a huzz Dragon would prefer, okay? Trust me. First, if she was to become my goat Dragon's wife later on in life, she would need to be around his age, which she looks to be. Dragon right now, around 45 years ago, is 10 to 11. Tritoma looks like a 10 to 11-year-old girl. She would also later become the Empress of Amazon Lily after Shaki. Considering that every Empress of Amazon Lily was lovesick with a top tier of their era, Tritoma logically would fall for the deadbeat goat. Just look at this man. Look at that flowing hair. So majestic, always looking east. She must have instantly been rizzed by his desk haki. Because I sure am.
Why are you gay?
On a serious note though, the best evidence for Luffy's mother being from Amazon Lily is why did Kuma flung Luffy all the way there after Sabaody? We know that Kuma was one of the only revolutionaries that knew about Dragon having a son. That's how we even got the famous line from my goat about a child is their parents' greatest weakness. Then 3 years ago, Kuma went to Dawn Island to take a look at Luffy himself before he lost his humanity. So being one of the pillars of the Revolutionary Army, Kuma definitely knew about Dragon's connection to the Kuja pirates and Luffy's mother. We also know that the Island of Women are rebellious by nature, as they aren't even part of the world government. Plus, they take in trafficked celestial slaves back into their fold, like in the case of Boa Hancock. So with Dragon's entire goal being to free the world from the celestials' oppression, Tritoma would take a quick liking to him. However, after Luffy's birth, there might have been a complication with the Empress, and the Island of Women can't raise a man, right? So Dragon left him with his grandpa Garp. Because like, if the world government knew that Dragon, the most wanted man, had a child with the untamable baddest Empress of Amazon Lily, they would hunt Luffy down instantly. Plus, the flower Tritoma is named after is said to be brightly colored red, orange, and yellow. Just like a burning fire or sun. Anyways, Tritoma in the flashback is bringing in all these fan letters from simps all over the world to Gloriosa. However, there is an even bigger pile right behind her, which turns out is for a bigger baddie. The only one set to outshine the radiant Gloriosa was the star of her era, first mate of the Kuja pirates, Shakuyaku. But there is trouble on the seas. The Roger pirates have come to attack. Instead of being scared though, the captain Gloriosa is about to have a nosebleed, like 5 Anji, because she is in love with Goldie Roger. Unfortunately, Roger has his eyes set on a different huzz, Shaki. The future pirate king is straight up gooning as he wants to win her over and take Shaki into his own crew. This is like, bro got a megaphone and shit. He's like, hey, join my crew, huzz. This is not how you secure the huzz, guys. Do not attempt this in real life. This isn't even the first time Roger has gone after the Kuja pirates, it seems. As Gloriosa says that, why won't you look at me, Roger? It's not just Roger though, but his entire crew wants to rizz up Shaki. Like, these are top tiers in the new world. Dude, you're losing all your aura. Hearing the commotion, the angel herself bursts out the door. Her haki is so strong that flowers themselves wilted. First, she takes care of Gaban, then kicks Roger, the future pirate king, straight to the ground, aura farming on top of him. Bro, imagine she puts her arm like that right next to you with that view. It's over. Shaki says that she will never submit to another's captivity. Perhaps during the commotion at the Reverie 56 years ago, Shaki and a few slaves managed to escape. While one of the strongest crews in all of One Piece are busy gooning, Shaki orders the Kuja pirates to take their treasure. These 5 Anji wannabes are even offering their souls to her. You guys are supposed to be top tiers. You guys are in the Pirate King's crew. Please stop acting like 5 Anji. The only person in Roger's crew that Shaki likely fucks with though is Dark King Silver's Rayleigh, which makes sense as he's the only nonchalant dude, and according to my reels, that's what the Huzzas want. So she gives him a little wink with a heart on top of it, bro. Before things could escalate though, the Navy has arrived. At first, Roger is like, we gotta run, but as soon as bro found out his Pookie Garp was on board, he said it's time to throw hands. And so Vice Admiral Garp, the future hero of the Marines versus Gold D Roger begins. First, it's Meteor Fist, which is much weaker than a galaxy level attack we find Garp using later in life. Roger counters that with a new move called Aramitama Sword Slash. This is major, as in Shinto belief, a kami has 4 aspects or tamas. Aramitama, the wild, violent, or rough soul. Nikimitama, the calm, harmonious soul. Sakimitama, the happy, joyous soul. Kushimitama, the mysterious, miraculous soul. So Aramitama specifically refers to the destructive or wrathful aspect of a divine being. This could be further evidence that God Haki, or the highest form of Haki, taps into the divine aspects of one's soul. But for that, watch the balls deep Haki theory I uploaded yesterday. Either way, this clash is legendary. While Garp punches the shit out of Roger using his God Haki, Roger slashes through Garp's stomach, revealing that at least 45 years ago, the two were equally matched. So imagine just how broken Rocks must have been that these two had to team up to beat him at God Valley. As the two titans battle it out, the Kuja pirates take their leave, with Gloriosa fainting due to her heart aching. You know how Gloriosa is such a baddie right now, but later on in life turned into an unattractive old granny, while Shaki Loki looks like a gilf? Well, it's due to lovesickness. Shaki was lovesick with Rayleigh and they got together, which was the medicine. However, Elder Neon's love for Roger was only one-sided, so she fell ill, becoming a hag. Funniest thing is that people apparently would buy the wanted posters of the Kuja pirates just to goon. They even had a whole stalking problem like the idols of our own world. They should have just created an OF. Back in Elbaf though, because you know this is still the Elbaf flashback we're in, Loki is drowning because this fool's ship capsized while trying to go find Roxy Zebek. How are you gonna go out to the sea without knowing how to swim, bro? Wait, hold on. If you eat a devil fruit, you can't swim, right? What if Loki has already eaten his devil fruit? It's an interesting thought, but I don't think Loki has eaten a fruit just yet. It's more likely that bro wouldn't listen to anyone that wanted to teach him how to swim. Harold though apologizes for his son's stupidity, as the dude which saved him is like, maybe I shouldn't have helped this brat, because he is the cursed child. Estrid's propaganda is at work. However, Ada is quick to reprimand the giant. Harold though says that it's kinda Loki's fault and he needs to stop acting out so much. Loki on the other hand kinda agrees that he didn't ask anyone to save him, angering the sailor giant even more. Like, why did I even save this brat and he can't even thank me? Ada is very nice to young Loki though, as she understands that he lost his mother when he was young and his dad's always busy, so Loki is just lonely. That's why he makes outlandish decisions or bothers everyone. Little bro just wants attention, to be acknowledged. Wouldn't it be better if he just stayed with Ida and his big bro Haruden? However, this causes both brothers to come out screaming, hell no, bruh, I don't want to live with this punk. Loki is low-key a menace though, because he says that the only reason Ida is being nice is so that she could move back into the castle. Hence the two brothers get into another fight. Loki just never felt accepted in Elbaf. Instead of trying to build a good relationship with the citizens through helping them with his strength, Loki chose to be a nuisance, a direct contrast to an outsider like Ada being accepted now, showcased by the little girl crying that Loki is so mean to her. Honestly though, we can't really fault Loki as to a child. He just sees how people are mean to him for something he never did by his choice, for simply being born with those eyes and the labels sprung on him by his own mother. Bro gets scolded. With all this anger towards his homeland though, every time Rox visited Elbaf to try and recruit Harold, Loki kept trying to join the crew instead. He wanted to be free like his idol, who was busy taking over Hachinose at the time. When Rock's pirates first took the island for themselves, there wasn't even that big skull on the rock. Instead, it was known as a fish-shaped boulder. Similar to the Kuja pirates, Rox's crew had gained infamy throughout the seas, with people coming in left and right trying to join up. They were known as the ocean's all-star of evil, which we know is likely just government propaganda, as in any country or world, whenever you go against authority and establishment, they will label you as evil. Since they are the justice, governments have the power to deem what's legal and what's not. One such pirate had made his way to Fulalead in hopes of joining the crew. Kyo the Wicked, or Silver Axe. Turns out that he was actually Shiki's rival, putting his power level all the way up to near Yonko tier, as it took Garp and Sengoku together to subdue Shiki during the film Zero flashback. Everything gets shaken up in the island though, as this dude Rox smashed 2 holes onto the giant boulder of Hachinose. He was the one that made those eye holes because bro wanted a good view.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Rox reveals that he is after 2 devil fruits. One of them is an Elbaf, which will only show its true power once Harold eats it. This is most likely the Soul God fruit, which we have been yapping about all this time. Or there are a few more possibilities we discussed during our weekly chapter reaction stream yesterday. 14 years ago, when Emu tried invading Elbaf, we saw that a devil fruit chest was likely raided by someone. Currently, we believe that Loki ate it, giving him the power to scare Emu away. However, what if the fruit was taken by another, thrown out into the black markets of the world, and this fruit was the Gomu Gomu no Mi? The timeline matches. Shanks knew about this fruit, and a few years later he finds it in East Blue, which the government was also after. Seeing the giant straw hat of Joy Boy in Marie-Joie, it's possible that Joy Boy was a giant with special ancient blood. So Rox believes that the Nika fruit will only awaken when a giant like Harold eats it. He was completely misreading the prophecy of Dawn. Just like how each emperor, like let's say Big Mom, had a piece of the Dawn's puzzle as she wanted to create a nation with no discrimination. But Kaido only valued might, while Big Mom took her subjects' lifespan in return. Their dreams were flawed, just like Rox's interpretation of the Dawn prophecy. So I still believe that it's a different legendary god fruit that was in Elbaf, which will only show its true power when Loki eats it. Harold isn't the special one, but Loki is, due to his eyes. That showcases his connection to the ancient weapon Pluton. He is the driver of that ship. And when he eats the Soul God fruit, perhaps he will also become the engine for the ancient weapon. Just like how Luffy was born 19 years ago and Shirahoshi 16 years ago, Loki, being a giant, was born 3 times earlier than them, over 60 years ago, as giants live 3 times longer than humans, where Loki's current age is similar to that of Loki's. They are of the same generation. These 3 are critical in bringing the prophecy of Dawn to light. That's why when Roger Pirates ended up in Laugh Tale, they said they were too early to free the world or make it one piece. The other legendary devil fruit Rox is after might just be the Nika fruit or the Yami Yami no Mi. Because what if the Yami Yami no Mi, which might have the power to suppress the wills of other fruits, can allow Rox to eat multiple devil fruits like Blackbeard? Either way, these reveals are here to hint at what Luffy and the gang need to do to win against Emu in the final war, as Captain John says that they need the Galira giants too, likely to build the ancient weapon or to fix up the Noah ship in Fishman Island. With this info, it seems that Rox is just trying to bring Joy Boy and the prophecy of Dawn to reality, not understanding that it's way too early. It's like he thinks it's the blueprint or a guide to defeat Emu and the Celestial Dragons up in the Holy Land. Whitebeard and even Big Mom Chef Strusen have doubts about even unfreezing and reviving the giant shipwrights though. And even if they do come back to life, why would they obey Rox? But that's why Rox needs Harold to join him, as he is the king of Elbaf, wielding authority to order the Galira. Young Kaido though is like, why can't we just use our strength to force Harold and Elbaf to obey? Which is in line with how Kaido operated his own crew later in life. Strength meant everything to him. He literally sought out strong warriors, crushing their wills to join him. He wanted Rocks to use the same blueprint he would use later on in life to subjugate young and up-and-coming pirates to tame Harold. However, Rocks disagrees with this method. Bro literally kicks the shit out of the future Yonko like he's a bug. Why? Well, Harold is Rocks' friend, and if Kaido suggests something so foolish again, Rocks will crush him. In an epic double spread, we see the entire top league of the Rocks pirates as the captain proclaims that Elbaf is the key to bringing down the Holy Land. That's their ultimate goal. It's up to them if they want to stand with Rocks on the day of destiny. If they follow Rocks, he will bring them to the summit of the world. If you enjoyed this video, watch the haki video I made yesterday. I explained what God haki is. I explained that every single thing in One Piece, from Rocks to like Rocks' hair, everything is haki. So go watch that video if you want to understand what's going to happen in the final war. Thank you.